Confidently control your day-to-day tasks without overwhelming your ability to get the work done. How do we confidently control your day-to-day tasks? Map out a process for everything in your business. I don't care if you're just getting started. You actually have an advantage if you're just getting started. I don't care if you're a solopreneur. I don't care if you have been running your business for 17 years. So my seasonal event, one of the things you talk about accountability, like if I didn't show up, it didn't happen. It happened every 6 months, right? And there came a point, I think about year, 10, I carried everything around in a binder. That's why I call like the business binder, the Trello business system, that business binder. That's where that name comes from. That's all of my tools and resources were in a 3-ring binder. Well, I told you we were homeschooling. We moved to a new house, which was completely, oh my gosh, the way this house looks like before and after, it doesn't even look like the same. We literally gutted it to the studs. Well, in all of that hot mess, I was still running the seasonal event and Daniel gets deployed. I don't know anyone and the event still has to happen. I literally took the 3-ring binder and handed it over to my best friend, and she is now the director of that event. Never in a day did I think that I would not be at my event. I mean, that event, like 12, 14 hours, and that's not a mama exaggeration. Every process from the time it opened and set up till we drove off at 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening at the end of the event, every single process was mapped out. It's directions. So if something happens, you can literally turn it over to someone and they can run it. And I'm going to skip down here to number 5. If you have a process that is mapped out for every single task in your business, it is a consistent product. It didn't matter if I was there. Everyone is replaceable, and you want to replace yourself. Brad Gibb, one of the guys that I love and I follow about financial information, one of his quotes was that when your systems generate more than your expenses, you become financially independent. I had to say that to myself a couple of times. When your systems generate more than your expenses, you become financially independent. Why is that? Because you have now replaced yourself and you are still generating revenue. It's when I tell you, I don't have a big team. It's me and Heather. I hope I don't work Heather to death, but it's us that is behind the scenes working in this business. You do not have to have a big team. And yet our processes, our systems are generating a consistent product. Y'all, when I talk about processes, it's the same process. Like I use them in life, I use them in business. When Ander was taking the SAT, we mapped out a process. We took that process and Maggie applied the SAT process. It's Thomas's turn. Thomas is going to apply the SAT process. When it's Jack's turn, he will apply the SAT process. Really, the business binder and the whole time management rock star was a result of the imposter syndrome that I felt as a homeschooling soccer mom. We're going to get done early. I don't know all of the teacher cool tricks. What if I'm going to mess my kids up? Are they getting everything that they need? I battled that every single day. And instead of going into just a spiral of depression, I was like, Mama's got to change something here. So I put my big girl pants on and I mapped everything out for each child. And I knew if each thing was checked off, they were getting what they need. I could release myself. Processes can run your life. Processes can run your business. But more importantly, you're not carrying it around in your head. The last analogy I'm going to give, and I'm going to keep going here, is it's a lot like right now how you're running things, right? It's like cleaning the house before the cleaning lady comes. Or it's easier to do it myself than tell someone how to do it. That will keep you in overwhelm. Why do we do that? So when you map out a process, it doesn't have to be perfect. We talk a lot about taking imperfect action. You implement and then you tweak it. You implement it and you tweak it. That's the process. That's it. It works. And for me, imposter syndrome, again, because I battled that, Is this going to work for someone else? Okay, I generated $5.5 million. Okay, it works, right? It's going to generate a consistent product. And here's the key: efficient with your time and resources. You're like, Rhonda, I'm a solopreneur. It's only me. I don't need to write out my processes. I'm good. Thank you for this one, but let's move on. Let's say, for example, you're a mom at home and the kids are home. Now it's summer. Remember, I told you we're being proactive. We're mapping out our time so we know exactly how much we have so we don't butt heads with our family. When I have time, I open up a process to do the work. Let's say schedule on social media. So instead of going down a rabbit hole and staying on social media, I have a process. Oh, Jack needs something. I'm going to go tend to Jack. I'm not going to be upset that Jack needs me. Now I can come back. Where am I in the process? I can pick up where I left off. I'm more efficient. I used to, the way that I uncovered magical pockets of time, we live in a small town. Anywhere we travel to is 45 minutes away. So it doesn't matter that, Thomas and Maggie had soccer practice 45 minutes away. I didn't have time to come back home to go back. I wasn't going to do that. For someone who's time efficient, that is my worst nightmare. So I literally had 3 hours that I could work 3 times a week. That's 9 hours a week. I could sit there and scroll on social media, or I could sit there and jab with the other soccer moms who didn't understand what I was doing, or I could use processes to complete client work. And I felt like I was a rock star. Magical pockets of time, giving my time directions. More importantly, when you create a process for anything, whether you think you want a team or not, it will help you build your team. Number one, please do not go into a community and say, I'm looking for a VA. Oh my gosh, what are you looking for? You don't know. I've seen it all the time, like groups of 30, 40,000 people. It helps you identify exactly the qualifications that you're looking for. It helps you write the job description. You are the CEO of your business. And then it also gives you a training tool. So you have your process, you record a Loom video. Loom is a free screen recording program. Use whatever program works for you, right? And now you have a jumping off point to do what? To create the consistent product. So you see how this is all aligning. Number one, now I know how much time I have. Number two, I've set a realistic goal. Number three, confidently control my day-to-day tasks. That's a process for everything. It's a process for my goal. It's a process to complete my work. It's a process for client onboarding. It's a process for client offboarding. Okay? Do you have mapped out processes for tasks in your business? I think EJ's on here with me. She came in and she works full time. And she also is building her business on the side. And I said, just start with one task. And it doesn't matter what life throws at you. When you have processes in place, you go to those processes and let them do the heavy lifting for you. I've had times off and on, most recently, I guess the past 5 years, where I've had to rely on those processes to carry me because I just didn't feel like showing up. I didn't feel like doing the work, but I have a goal and I mapped out my processes. And by being able to achieve that goal every 2 weeks, remember, we're working in sprints, being able to achieve that goal every 2 weeks, then is that surge, the endorphins of confidence, clarity, and encouragement.